Alright, hey, this is page 74. And this is the guided practice. Some of this you probably should have already been able to get through yourself, but I'm going to go ahead and work through it. Now remember, 75 you do have to do on your own if you haven't already. So number 1 says, vocabulary, a proportional relationship is a relationship between two quantities in which a ratio of one quantity to the other quantity is or is not constant. Alright, remember, so about, I think, 2 pages back we talked about proportional relationships. They must be constant, so is. It is constant. Number 2 says, when writing an equation of a proportional relationship in the form y equals kx, k represents the constant. But remember, we also talked about that it also represents slope. Three says to write an equation that describes the proportional relationship between the number of days and the number of weeks in a given length of time. So it says complete the table. So we know that in time and days, meaning weeks and days, sorry, there are 7 days to every week, which is what we have here with 7 and 1. So that means during, did I just unplug that? I did, hold on. My iPad will die if I don't plug it back in. Go ahead and fill that out, and let's see if you get it right while I'm trying to fix this. Okay, okay, so for every 2 weeks, that means we would have 14 days, because 2 times 7 is 14. Alright, during 4 weeks, we have, that's 4 times 7, or 28. Right now we're asking about 56. So 7 times what gives us 56? Or 56 divided by 7. And that is 8. So there'll be 8 weeks there. Alright, and 10 says time and days. 10 would be 70 days. Alright, so x, remember how we talked about x is always the top and y is the bottom here. So x is the weeks, and y is the days. The equation that describes the relationship is going to be y equals, remember we have to do our y over x, so 7 over 1x, or we can say this as 7x. Number 4, physical science. Oh, wait. I'm jumping ahead. Let me read all the directions. Each table or graph represents a proportional relationship. Write an equation that describes the relationship. So 4 is physical science. The relationship between the numbers of oxygen atoms and the hydrogen atoms in water is shown below. For every 2 oxygen atoms, there's 4 hydrogen atoms. So we're actually doubling it from one to the next. So for every 5 oxygen atoms, we're going to have 10. So half of 34, which would be on the next one over. So 34 divided by 2 gives us 17, because if you double 17, we get 34. And if we double 120, we're going to get 240. So remember, our formula is y equals kx. K is y over x. And oxygen's x, hydrogen's y. So we're going to take our k. K is y. So it's going to be 4 over our x, which is 2. X. And if we do 4 divided by 2, that's going to give us 2x as our final equation. Alright, looking at our next one. Formula is y equals kx. K equals y over x. So we're going to pick a point. We're going to go with our first point here. Our coordinates is 1 and 30. So that's x, comma, y. So we're going to take and we're going to do 30 over 1. And if you do 30 over 1, that's going to reduce down to just 30. So we're going with y equals 30x as our equation. Also, this is talking about Rise of a Rome, which we'll get to soon. And number 6 says, if you draw the equation of a proportional relationship, how can you draw the graph of the equation? We plug in numbers to get points that go on the graph. And then we connect them. And that's it for page 74, and that's done with your first assignment. All you have to do now is go in and do the online Go Math portion of it for 3.1. And I won't see you, but I'll talk to you on the next lesson. Thanks, guys.